He was born in 1937 in the panhandle town of Littlefield. His mother was in her mid-teens. Waylon had rejected her milk as an infant, and she had this portrait taken because she was afraid he would die. Waylon's father was a West Texas truck driver and farm worker, and some of the warmth people see beneath Waylon's fire may have come from him.
I don't remember my dad ever saying he loved me, but I always knew it. When he spanked us, it was the funniest thing in the world. Because he'd wait until we was, like at night when we'd be in bed, we'd always get in a fight, me and my little brother. And he'd come in there and he'd whip us with his belt through quilts that thick.
Waylon also has a lasting impression of watching a cowboy star named Lash LaRue stand by his guns. LaRue appeared in Littlefield and accidentally ripped open the town's movie screen with the whip tricks he used in his films.
And so I went up to get some popcorn or something after the show was over, and he was standing in the lobby there, still had his guns and his whip on. And they were telling him that he's going to have to pay for that, the movie screen. And he's saying, I'm not going to pay for it. You should have insurance. And he said, well, you are going to pay for it. And he says, well, I got a whip and a gun that says I'm not going to. And I looked around me to see if I was the only one in the world that ever heard that, man. I thought that was the greatest thing. And anytime after that, if I played cowboys and Indians or anything, I used that line, somewhere in there, even if I was Gene Autry.
In his teens, Waylon began working as a local disc jockey. And he got his start in the music industry when he moved to Lubbock for a radio job and met one of the early idols of rock and roll, Buddy Holly. They became good friends, and Holly produced Waylon's first record, a Cajun song called Jolie Blonde.
Oh, Jolie Cow.
Holly also hired Waylon as a bass player in his road band. But shortly after this show, Buddy Holly was killed on February 3rd, 1959, in an Iowa plane crash en route to his next performance. He had recorded 9 top 10 hits in only 18 months, and fans referred to the crash as the day the music died. Waylon wasn't on the plane because he'd given up his seat to another performer, J.P. Richardson, who was known as the Big Bopper. The crash came as a shock Waylon still doesn't like to discuss. Holly had encouraged Waylon to use different ideas from different kinds of music, such as country or rock. But Waylon would also learn something else about the industry just after the crash. He went on to play the next concert on the promoter's request. But when he played, tired and shaken, the backers tried to dock money from the band because Holly and the other stars who had died weren't there. Waylon quit and returned to Texas to work as a disc jockey. And finally, he moved to Phoenix and formed his own band. His success there led to Nashville in 1965.
Stop the world and let me off.
This is Waylon in his first year as a recording artist for the label that brought him to Nashville, RCA Victor. Country music was a booming industry, and one reason was that companies recorded in short, economical sessions using company-picked backup musicians who reproduced what was called the Nashville sound, a smooth blend of country and pop music that was boosting sales and building audiences.